Yep,
Oh.
the chat says.
Welcome to the Game Gallery. I am your host, Solar Gray, and I've got some news for you guys because I am here with. I said I am here with
the Duggernaut.
All right, yeah, look at that. Hey,
yeah,
hey,
yeah. Look at these transitions. Am I right?
Hey, yeah. Hey,
oh,
look at that.
it's so smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything I can do to make it so that you can interrupt me.
Quicker and easier. Yeah.
It's much quicker, much easier.
Oh, yeah, just at a button press. Yeah. The only thing that'll be a little bit better now is if you can get like a chess clock, so I can tap it, so I can interrupt you. You know, then we can really get me to interrupt your flow.
Yeah. Like that's gonna happen. Yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah.
Right? Wrong. So wrong.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah,
Well, how you doing today?
Huh? Well,
So
honestly, it has been a weekend. It has truly been a weekend. Did some upgrades to the studio, and did some research into a lot of things. And sure enough, it was a thing. It was a thing. As you can see, but you guys can't quite see, we made some upgrades to the studio, which was awesome. We made a few. Well, we had to make a few. Upgrades to the sound and you guys are gonna love this. Love it. Let's see if I can reload this page real quick. Yeah, next week, believe it or not, is our new is gonna be the live stream of the Anomaly game.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, that starts a week from today.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love to see that moving forward.
Huh? Oh man, I'm telling you, I'm not really much of a hip hop dude, but can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. And don't be mad because I'm doing me better than you doing you. All right, that's all I'm saying. So let's see. So there's that. Getting over the con crud, and of course, the way that I get over like massive sickness is to work myself to a worse state.
Yeah, I've noticed that. You have a tendency to like, oh, I'm getting sick. Well, it's time for me to just get even sicker. And I'm like, I don't think that's how that works. No. Trust me. If I make myself completely miserable working to death, I'll get better. I've actually got a little bit of science on that. No, that's what you do.
Yeah, that's actually the thing that I'm it's an old black person recipe. I was actually explaining to my girlfriend the reason for that.
Okay.
Actually, one thing about being a black person in America is that we cannot show our weaknesses.
Yes,
this
you've
goes
mentioned this.
all the way back to the slave times, and because here's the thing, like way back in the slave times, if you were sick, you were sold. Or you were just worked until you died. Okay.
Disposed of,
yes,
one way or the other.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, but the way that it works in the 21st century, or the way that it worked throughout the 20th century, and this is big, is when dealing with systemic isms, racism, sexism, genderism, binaryism, disableism, the base answer, the default answer is no.
Okay.
So, can I have a raise? No. Can I have this job?
No. I see.
Can I move into this place? No. So, once we're in a place, can I come to work tomorrow? No. So, we have to make ourselves... Now, we can't shine. We can't, be better than everybody else with our skill set, because then, how can I put it? A person of color or any one of those demographics, merit is actually worth much less than the middle class suburbanite feel.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're doing our jobs really well, they feel like we think we're better.
Yeah.
And so it's like this delicate balance. So over the course of my life, I've had to cultivate this thing of where when I feel like that flaming bag of poop after the neighbor opens the door, I still have to look like a new grocery bag. You know? So it's like, yeah, you know, my body aches.
Yeah.
I've got a gallon of Visine in me, so that my eyes are no more bloodshot than normal. My voice, when my voice starts going, instead of Tom Waits, I gotta go Isaac Hayes.
Ah, okay, all right.
Barry White. Yeah, show you right. Like, hey, you've got a fever of like 105. Yeah.
Apparently, I'm significantly louder than you, according to the chat, so I'm going to back up just a little
No,
bit.
you're not.
Nope, okay.
I'm just gonna turn you down. See?
Okay.
I'm betting that's spider web. Let's see if that's spider web in there. Because but yeah. So there's like that is a real thing. So when I had the con crud and I was down, I'm just going, oh my god. Oh hey Camo Heart, how you doing, darling? Yeah. So as that goes, it's just like, oh my god. My body aches, my head aches,
Right.
my mouth hurts, my eyes hurt, everything is just plain terrible.
I mean, that's con crud for you.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
the non-specific terrible feeling.
So now I'm just sitting up.
It says Solar is now even quieter in the
I'm
chat.
aware.
Oh,
I'm
okay,
aware.
all right.
I'm looking at the chat too.
Okay.
You know, yeah, we're doing the thing. So see, how's that? Ooh.
I don't know.
Oh no! See what they're like? Oh my God, he's even quieter. Yeah, my mic wasn't on, guys.
You know, that would explain it, actually.
Yeah, that's a thing. That's a thing. Forgot to do the sound check when we were setting up.
That's right.
because- Yeah. So, ooh, thank you, Nomi. Anyway, so yeah, as I was saying, made a lot of upgrades to the studio. Fixed the cameras. Got our. Oh wait, let's have a magic trick.
Enough of that nonsense. So
yeah,
enough of that nonsense.
I had to do that at least
no,
one time.
that's good.
And but yeah, it was kind of a metaphor about people of color in our society
Yeah,
not being
yeah.
heard. But yeah, and so I was down with the con crud, and of course I'm sick,
Right.
and I'm like, okay, I feel like hammered poop. That's what I am. That's what I am. I'm like, oh God, hammered poop. And sure enough, I'm like, okay, well, since I can't leave the house and I can't do this, I gotta make upgrades to the studio.
I mean,
It's time to hack the computer. It's time. Okay. All right. So is that LLW colon. Oh no. That's LV:C. Okay. Yeah, I'm just seeing double. That's right.
yeah, one of the guys that I watch a lot of his videos, he's always putting out new content videos for painting, and his little thing is, just always stay busy in the Beats lab.
Yeah.
And that's, it doesn't matter what he's doing. He's like, if I finish the project I'm working on, I find another one. It can be just messing around with a thing. It doesn't have to be an important project. It can just be screwing around. But you have to stay busy. You gotta use your time to do something to improve something.
Yeah. So.
Or work on something.
Yeah. And that's exactly it. So. But unfortunately, I gave the crud to my little hobbit.
Yes. She's not looking great.
Yeah, I was. Hey, you can go to hell.
Oh no. As far as sickness is concerned.
Okay, all right. You insult my girlfriend.
I'm
gonna do something serious.
Yeah. No, I not looking to cause trouble, man.
Like I'm gonna look at you in a way that makes you uncomfortable.
I mean, that's like most of the ways you look at me. So.
Well, yeah, because you're a average suburbanite white
Yeah.
guy. So all I got to do is do anything but smile.
Exactly. Yeah, just naturally, I feel uncomfortable in the presence of people who are not white people. So therefore, I call the police on people having barbecues. That's how it works.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm glad you understand, and
Yeah.
thank you for joining the Back in the Deck rehab program. But yeah, you were telling me your lady finally internalized what we're here for.
Well, she started to get it. Yeah, we were at we were hanging out, and she was talking about how she's been gate kept out of a lot of things she's always wanted to try, and for a lot of reasons, for a lot of whatever else. But she was talking about how someone who she's female, she is multi-race, she's all these other check boxes of things that we would be talking about as part of our show's mission, and she just had never really had anyone tell her it's okay to like the things you like. And so I told her, I was like, well, do you know about what we do here? Do you know the idea that doesn't matter the circumstances of your birth, it's okay to like the things you like. It's okay, if anyone tells you can't, you tell them to take those cards and put it back in the deck. And she got a little teary, and she was like, I have never had anyone tell me that. That's exactly what I needed to hear. And it was a good moment for me, as we've been working. Whoop, bumped the mic there. We've been working together for a while now, for a few months, and it feels good to feel like we are working on a project that I believe in, that is making a positive influence in people's lives as well.
Well, let's hope.
Yeah. That's the hope.
Got a technical thing for you, though.
Okay.
There's a little knob, this little knob here on the microphone.
Yep.
Okay, loosen that up and push the mic more to your... Yeah, there you go.
Right about there?
Yeah, all right. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. By the way, Chad, I see that you guys have stopped complaining about not being able to hear me, so I'm guessing the sound must be fine. So there was that. We got some new cameras.
Yes.
We got some new cameras. I'm pretty sure they're stolen. Pretty sure.
Yeah.
You never know when you buy from a pawn shop.
Yeah, and that's the thing. At a certain point with a pawn shop, you just have to go, well, I guess it is what it is, and I just do the best I can with that.
Well, the answer is get a receipt. Get a receipt. Because, that whole you're under arrest for receiving stolen goods, that's if you do a one-on-one purchase or buy out of the trunk.
But if you buy from a shop and you get a receipt, you can say, look, it was a legitimate business transaction, I didn't know.
Yeah, exactly. Good to know. I went to a pawn shop, I bought a thing.
Yeah. I wasn't buying from my friend Dave down the street, who just happens to sometimes come into possession of things that
Exactly.
Because that's when it's suspiciously stolen, and that makes sense.
Exactly. So just a little bit of street smarts for you guys out there. Buy brick and mortar, and get a receipt. And let's see, there was another thing I wanted to. Oh yeah. So with some of the upgrades that I made to the studio, I started getting rid of the old stuff.
Yeah.
So I sat down and I said, you know what? It's time. It's time that I do the thing that I didn't want to do, which was we got to put it was time for me to put some stuff on Craigslist.
Yeah, it happens. Yeah, I've started collecting a number of my things to donate or sell as well. It's just there reaches a point where you got too much shit.
Yeah, so the air mattresses from the Orgy Dome, those gotta go.
Oh yeah.
But I'm throwing in a 5-gallon jug of bleach, so that's good. No, I'm kidding.
Well,
kidding.
With the 5-gallon jug of bleach, did you also include a 5-gallon jug of lube? For all that orgy fun.
No. No.
You keep that, right? That's for your own.
No, I keep it for security purposes. Actually.
Oh, okay. What is the 5-gallon jug of lube for security purposes?
In case I think that somebody might arch me and oh, I'm going to sneak into your house while you're asleep. I live on the 2nd floor, so.
I'll just be real careful about walking up your stairs from now on, or at least not coming over unannounced.
All you gotta do is stay off my bad side.
Okay. Yeah.
If you really get on my bad side, I'll lube your stairs.
Well, that's and then it'll be an interesting day. Yeah.
And then we get drunk, or at least I take you to a bar and you get drunk, and I'm like, all right, man, I'll catch you later. I'm just gonna Uber home.
Snicker, snicker, snicker.
Yeah. So, no. I'm kidding, kids. I'm kidding.
Yeah. Well, on my side, as far as upgrades to my own studio, as it were, which doesn't currently have a lot of video equipment, but has a lot of painting equipment.
It's coming.
It is. No, I've got plans. I actually have a webcam. I've got the microphone. I got a lot of the setup. I'm just working on getting it all into the right places.
Right.
And I made big progress on that this week. But the big thing for me was I had an airbrush that was actually not working due to what's the euphemistic term? Some percussive maintenance on my part.
Oh.
I performed the rite of percussive maintenance upon my airbrush, and
that's when you throw it against the wall or hit it with a hammer, kids.
It was the hit it with a hammer one. But anyway, completely my own dumbass's fault. But I ended up skewing one of the air valves in it so that it wasn't working properly. So I spent about $20 trying to get correct parts for it to fix it myself. Didn't work, had to send it back to the manufacturer, but they actually were able to fully disassemble it, get it working correctly, and it was only about another $20-25 or so that I had to spend to get it fully operational again. So now I've got my really nice, expensive airbrush back in business, and did a bunch of work, got a bunch of painting stuff done, some of which you can see on the deckers of the book.
Right.
Posted some of that on there, and generally speaking, just trying to stay busy, keep projects going.
Awesome. That is one of those cool things. So it's funny because right when we were putting everything together, I'm like, okay, so we're doing the thing, and this is nice, but gotta get the sound together. And as I was checking sound, I actually got hit up with a call like, hey, you still got that bass? Yes, I do. I'll be done at almost 2 o'clock. Give me a call then. So, and that's cool. That's going to be some more really important gear because I'm really trying to get this live stream going well.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, for the Anominate thing, I gotta build the set.
Are you going to do that here?
No. No. We got a warehouse.
Nice.
Over in like Santa Fe Springs, City of Industry area.
Okay, cool.
And the problem is this: after you and I get done on those Sundays, I am out of here like a bat out of hell.
Yep.
To drive down there, reassemble the studio in there.
Because you got to pull down all the tripods and cameras here. Oh, geez. And then you got to take everything. You got to get the lighting. You got to literally move everything that's been more or less a permanent setup for just this studio here, and take it to a whole other place to get it set up in time to do a whole other live stream for how long are you going to run the game? 4 or 6 hours?
Probably like 6 hours.
6 hours of role playing, and then pack the whole damn thing up, bring it back here, and get it set up for doing live streaming, the day after?
Yeah. So
have fun with that.
Honestly, I'm going to do it. And no, I don't have to tear down the studio. The first studio that I built for Back in the Deck was built for that purpose. Oh,
that's right. Because that was when I first met you, and you had your whole mobile filming setup, and you were filming battle reports at game stores and stuff. You're talking about more of that sort of setup.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was good work.
The tough part is going to be like taking the backdrops and doing the set dressing.
That's true.
That's what I got to do. But I got the lights. I got going to take down the cameras. I've got a second computer editing bay that I'm taking with me.
Nice.
Taking it with me. And it's all going with me. And yeah, that's going to be some stuff. Hopefully the computer is working. If not, I'm going to have to buy like another laptop.
Yeah, another Craigslist book.
Huh?
Another Craigslist laptop sort of thing? Or?
No, actually on this one, ironically, same pawn shop is like, I think this one is like an i5 with like USB 3, blah, blah, blah. I only want like 125 for it. And I'm like, I'm selling a base for 150 on Craigslist.
Perhaps we could. Yeah.
Not even a perhaps we could. It's I got to pick it up because another thing, probably the second or third week of October, you were probably going to have the time off because it's time to do what Back in the Deck is specifically out there to do.
Okay. And that would be?
We have to keep up relations with the stores that work with us. Okay, that's one of the things. So it's back to Austin, Texas, to do live streams at our Austin stores. You know, such as Mothership Comics, Dragon's Lair, and we're going to be doing whatever shows they allow us to do live from those stores.
Nice.
Yeah.
I got some gaming buddies out in Austin if you need guest stars, but
absolutely.
I suspect you've got a whole roster of people that you already got, but
that would be a good suspicion.
I was gonna say, knowing you and knowing Austin, you got enough people over there. I'm guessing that you got a whole.
Well, you know what? As I was saying about being sick earlier, even if I didn't, I couldn't let you know. Because again, default answer is no. So I gotta look like I'm on my game.
Gotcha.
All the time.
Well, yeah, I got some gaming friends out there who I think would love to sit down with you for an hour and a half or so and chit chat about nerd stuff.
Oh yeah, that would be great. Honestly, I'm hoping that they start watching the shows.
I'm trying to get them to, but a lot of times when we stream, they're just not really able to. I'll start pinging them again.
Yeah, do that, and because the time will come. Once I'm able to pay for people's gear and just mail order it out to them. Then I'm hoping to put like the Prime Deckers, because there's us. We are. Well, I'm Decker Prime. I know that. I'm like Optimus Decker.
Yeah. Good.
But you and Aaron you and Henchman and Stickman and all the other guest hosts, you guys are like my executive crew.
Aw, that's sweet. Thank you.
Yeah. Don't thank me. Don't thank me, because that means I'm sending y'all out to go do these shows.
Wait a minute. It's sounding less good. Oh no.
Yeah.
I made a horrible mistake.
Yes, it's really one of those. Like, one of my guys, TB, out in Buffalo, wants to do this stuff, but I can't afford to send him the gear yet.
Yeah.
But when that happens, I'll be like, all right, TB, here's your camera, here's your laptop, here's your sound thing. Now go talk to some gamers and hit some game stores.
Nice.
That's the whole thing.
Very cool.
Well, the Deckers are we're not just a bunch of people that meet online. We're a real society. And I don't know if I told you last week.
Maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, okay, I'm sorry, Camel Heart. I don't know what's happening again.
Possibly the sound?
I don't know. Let's see here. Let me check. I'm checking. Ooh.
Looks good on the computer.
No, we're good. We're good.
All right.
Yeah, so, what was I talking about? Oh, yeah. Last week was the first gaming session of the San Clemente Boys Club's D&D group.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I'm needing to talk to Daniel about those guys. And now that we've got that group up and running, we can actually hop onto the Boys and Girls Club. I'm thinking either Compton or Carson.
Ooh,
which
okay.
comes next. So that's going to be a thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'll be sending GMs out and about all over to be like, all right, I need you to GM here, I need you to GM here, So that's what we're looking at over there. So that's some of the things that we're dealing with on that.
Yeah.
So
man, speaking of GMs, one of my buddies was running a Kids on Bikes game and had a chance to play a couple of weeks ago. And I gotta tell you, I've played a lot of games. I've been with a lot of GMs, but this guy really knocked it out of the park. The GMs who kind of go the extra mile to help set the scene for the game, even if it's a little bit of mood music can go a long way. But Kids on Bikes being set in the 80s, he actually sat down and he looked up what products had come out in the 80s. He looked up what the weather was like in this part of Ohio that he was setting the game in so that he could figure it out. He looked up. No, he went all out for it. It was great. And so we showed up, and he had Jello jigglers. He had. God, what else did he have there? All these appropriate snacks. He got some Pepsi throwback to be able to more accurately do that. Let's see, what else? It was quite the adventure, I gotta say. The game itself only lasted for it was the entire evening, but I think it was about 6 or 8 hours that we played, and we we played a whole Kids on Bikes game where we investigated a supernatural mystery. It was real good. We had 2 brand new role players in the group, so everybody was kind of introduced to the thing. Like I say, from a GM perspective, I really appreciate him. I think he just really knocked it out of the park. Really helped set the mood for not only the new players but also the experienced players. My character was playing like the archetype of the little Boy Scout, so I definitely dug up my old Boy Scout uniform and showed up in that because, of course, I did. Whoop! Knocked your thing over there.
It happens.
It happens. Absolutely fantastic game. He did a great job DMing it. Everything he said was it was the easiest and most fun time he'd had DMing a game ever. So that's a pretty impressive statement. So I definitely can highly recommend Kids on Bikes, having now actually played it. Last time we talked, had not had a chance to play it yet.
Oh, that is pretty freaking cool, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, it's again, having had 2 brand new role players there, it was a great time to have new role players join the group. So it was people who'd never role played before, 2 of them, and then 2 people who were experienced role players and 1 experienced DM. And everybody did great. The new players took a little bit of prodding, but because of the way the system works and like the very accepting group that we had there, everybody worked together, and we had a very enjoyable experience. I really I can highly recommend that as a good intro to RP for new players. Yeah.
Well, sweet. Yeah. One of the things I'm still doing right now, you guys out there, is I'm playing with the sound while we're going. Still working out kinks, few technical difficulties. I've just been so happy that I can switch without freaking freezing up. No, honestly, man, I am so looking forward to playing a game or 5 of Kids on Bikes.
Oh, it's great.
Especially since, not to keep beating that whole poor kid, dead horse type thing. Let me check this. Yes, to the women I have loved. Like being a kid, like we did the whole Kids on Bike things.
Yeah.
I couldn't afford a bike.
Yeah.
So in the Kids on Bikes campaign, I was the one without a bike.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I think Ron's sick. Let me go borrow his.
Yeah, or like ride on someone else's bike, or yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was good because in this small town that we were in, like any good science fiction story, in my opinion, the ship you're on, the vehicle you're on, is merely a hand-waving device to get you to the next part of the story. In Star Wars, the Millennium Falcon is not so much about the ship itself, so much as this is a place to get you to the next part where things are going to happen. And sometimes things happen on the ship, and that's part of the story. But the bikes and Kids on Bikes serve that function as well, where it's like, you know what, you have a bike and you need to ride to the park, so you get there. You get there within a reasonable amount of time because you're a kid on a bike. Good.
Right.
Just hand wave it.
Yeah, so I mean, so let's see. What are some of the things that we're talking about today? Beginning role-playing games.
Yes.
Beginning role-playing games. It's like, yep, welcome to the first segment. What, you guys thought I don't keep my eye on the clock? I'm telling you. And I think in about 6 months, I'm going to be having this down to where it's so smooth, and I'll just be like, what you guys don't see is while we're on this thing, I've got like hand.
Oh, it's true. Yeah. I'm sitting here, for what it's worth, you guys. I'm sitting here staring at him as he's looking like he needs about 7 more limbs here to try and grab all the different gear, and he's pushing buttons, and he's making this show great for you. So yeah, it's definitely impressive, but it's not just. I'm the one who gets to sit here and just relax and talk about games. This guy's doing work.
Well, I would say you have to sit there and look pretty, but I'm still training you on that.
Harsh but fair.
I'm kidding. No. Some people think you're pretty.
Yeah, well.
That's. I've never seen them sober, but some people think you're pretty.
There you go.
No. But yeah. So I mean, we've got 3 games. I wanna start with the first one.
Okay.
Because it's a really, like, we've talked about it here before, and having talked about it here before, we don't have to spend much time on it, but I've been using this as, I guess you can say, an intro to role-playing games for
pretty much the entirety of the 21st century.
You've mentioned this game.
Yeah.
Yes.
And yeah, it's a relatively older one, but you can find it on Amazon and the eBays and all that jazz. And I speak, of course, of Boom. When Darkness Comes from Twilight Creations. That's a real game. You can order it on Amazon. You start with The Awakening, and in a nutshell, it's Universal movie monsters.
Yeah.
But it's very Call-esque of
So Call of Cthulhu with the serial numbers filed off.
Well, I don't have 9 tongues.
Okay? Yes.
My mouth is not 8 feet wide. And, it's very Call of Cthulhu plus Universal movie monsters. You play a person, damage hurts, so think like Call of Cthulhu, Resident Evil, kind of survival horror. But character creation is easy. Character advancement is easy. You get little miniatures because it's a board game.
Yeah.
But at the end of it, you really get a sense of what it's like to play an RPG. So yeah.
I mean, most RPGs often have a physical material component, especially if you're trying to introduce it to new players.
Yes.
That's actually been one of the things that dealing with Kat and teaching her role-playing games, she's had a lot of trouble without some sort of visual representation or a map or some miniatures to attach the spatial concept of where you are with the story. A lot of new players struggle a lot with like the theater of the mind's eye sort of angle. So having it start as a role-playing board game is actually a pretty great idea.
Yeah. So quite honestly, with all of that stuff. That's interesting. Sorry, we got somebody in the chat here going, ooh.
That's Camel Heart.
Yeah.
Making ghost sounds.
Yes. Oh, okay. Ghost sounds. Now I get it. Because I'm thick. But yeah, so...
She might also just be saying she likes the idea of When Darkness Comes. I don't really know what ooh means in this context. I like ghost sounds, though.
If she does, I would be happy to play a game like on Skype.
Yeah.
Because that is, that's one thing I love about the 21st century. But again, it's very much it's variable tile because it's from the makers of Zombies! And I have to say it like that because it has 3 exclamation points in the title.
Yeah, and I've played that game. I haven't played When Darkness Comes, though.
When Darkness Comes is the next step up. So Zombies is, you've got your little army man.
Yeah.
Hordes of zombies are coming.
Yeah.
When Darkness Comes, make your own character. And it's not hordes of zombies every time, and it is variable tile, but you got to find a thing. You loot the room, you do that kind of thing, and you don't know what's in it is the big thing. So that's a really big thing.
I in the Zombies game, I played many moons ago, and it was the sort of game where it just took up so much space, we ended up running out of table to put more tiles on. We're using pennies for extra zombies, It was that sort of like, this game is unwieldy, and I'm not even sure it's fun anymore, but I'm still enjoying myself because this game is so ridiculously overblown at this point that we're mobbed by an entire city of zombies that are coming after us, even if half of them are pennies,
That's right, and then somebody goes to the bathroom, they come back with a leather jacket, a red bandana, and a barbed wire covered baseball bat.
Yep.
And they talk a whole lot from their crotch, That's right.
Best place to talk from. Best place to talk from.
I don't know. I speak from my heart, dude. I speak from here. Here. Actually, no, I speak from my brain. That's why I'm always going, But
well,
yes.
my speak from my crotch experience has not usually ended well, so I should probably try to find other ways to communicate with people.
Good night, everybody. So there's that thing that's going on right there.
Yeah, so that's When Darkness Comes.
Yeah.
And you said you've done that a lot of times as like an intro to role-playing games, even though it's a board game.
Yes, actually, I do, because there's so deep a role-playing aspect. You have your character. You have their job,
right?
And their job gives them certain skills that they're really good at, and other skills that they're really not. So like your thief is not very good at fighting.
Okay.
The bruiser, not very good at picking locks.
So it gives you that little bit of the D&D party dynamic.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And I played like the second game I played, I broke rule number 3.
Okay, which one's rule number 3?
Never say "I'll be right back."
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I left the party.
Yeah, no.
And
no.
yeah,
You're
again,
dead.
It's very Call of Cthulhu-esque in the sense of it takes everybody
Yeah.
to take down the monster.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to show your lady that particular game because again, it's a good intro to role playing,
Mm-hmm.
and it's really if you understand poker hands, you can play this game.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
that's
pretty good.
That's your pass fail.
Okay.
So, if nothing else, Yahtzee. So you're playing Yahtzee to understand a role-playing game, and that's
All right.
And I bring that up because it's a really important thing. Because when most people, as you know, beginning role players, when they go, not beginning role players, but when you buy a role-playing game for your friends, or when you guys buy role-playing games for your friends who have never done RPGs before,
Yeah.
they approach it like it's a board game.
Yeah.
In a very zero-sum way.
Yeah.
There's got to be a winner, and it's got to be them.
Yes, and that's actually something that all of these kind of newer role-playing games that I've been seeing, and a lot of the new board games I've been really excited about, have been either co-op games or DM-less games. It's everybody who's playing versus either an AI, the console, just the setting, whatever it is, but you're all on the same side, so there's no idea of, oh, you're winning versus, oh, you all died because the GM threw too many orcs at you, or, whatever it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so that is, again, and with When Darkness Comes, it's much like Betrayal on Haunted Hill, Arkham Asylum,
Arkham Horror?
Yeah, Arkham Horror.
Yeah.
Which is, you cannot do it alone.
No. I've played Arkham Horror only once or twice, I think, and we had a good 4 or 5 people, and we barely pulled it out. And it was like, we knew what we were doing. We were in there like, okay, we got this. Like, we're coordinating, we're figuring everything out. And again, that game is for anybody who doesn't know, it's a cooperative game. We were trying to stop the end of the world, so to speak, an elder god from returning. And so we're all working together with the same goal in mind, coordinating who goes where, who gets what, who handles what, and we barely pulled it out by the skin of our teeth in some lucky rolls.
Yeah.
And those sort of games are fun because if you lose, you all lose together. And you don't lose because, oh, we all suck or somebody screwed somebody else up. You lose because, like, well, you did the best you could and
and your best wasn't good enough.
Yeah, better luck next time. But I feel like those sort of stakes where it's like, look, you can lose, and if you lose, you bring everybody down. So you all have to work together. And if you lose, like, you did the best you could. It's a special sort of community bonding, special sort of like way to do a thing together as a friend group.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And so when it comes to doing the stuff with these games things, that is a nice what's the term I'm looking for? It's a nice crossover because it is a board game.
Sure.
But really, it plays like a role playing game.
Yeah.
And
well, that line's real blurry between the two anymore, and it's good. It's
Yeah.
good that it's blurry. It lets you play both sides of to one degree or another.
I'm not gonna lie. I am a big fan of the standard Milton Bradley Hasbro games.
Sure.
It's that's where we all start, and that's where a lot of people stay. That is really where a lot of people stand. There ain't nothing wrong with that.
No.
It's just a matter of
our whole thing is like what you like. You know?
Yeah. You like it, cool.
Yeah. If you're having fun with Monopoly and Chutes and Ladders, go nuts.
Dude, Chutes and Ladders is awesome.
I would fight you on that, but we'll carry on.
Oh no, it's okay. Yeah, we should really talk about that.
No, let's not talk about Chutes and Ladders on this show.
Oh no, we will. It's, believe it or not, it's a lesson in the occult. It is awesome.
Okay, that'll be a topic for another time because now I'm curious.
Yeah. See.
Now you got me. All right.
Matter of fact, like we'll sit down one day. I'll pull out the documentation, and you're gonna be like, "Son of a, what? Oh my God!" It's like watching Full Metal Alchemist or something.
All right. All right. We'll see how you do here. We'll see how you do.
But the second game I really wanted to bring up, and we're doing my games first.
That's
because
fine.
They're simple.
I'm gonna get real hyped about mine, so
And once you get hyped about yours, I'm not gonna get the camera back.
Yeah, there you go.
But the second one is one that my significant other ended up playing called Roll for Your Shoes.
Ooh, tell me about that.
It literally is. It started from a game called Roll to see if you're wearing shoes.
Okay.
Okay. Because it was pretty much a bunch of role players had gotten together and they got tired of those GMs.
Oh, the ones who make you roll to see if you didn't specify that you're wearing clothes. Oh, I guess you're just walking around naked. I guess your character just never bothered because you didn't write down that you were wearing a tan shirt and some black pants and you forgot to write down what shoes you were wearing and that you had socks with them. Well, now you have blisters on your feet. Take a penalty to all of your checks.
Exactamundo.
Yeah.
It's not that you've ever had one of those.
No, I've never encountered anyone like that before.
Been to one of those things.
Yeah.
And but yeah, so seriously, it's and essentially the makeup is easy. You can find the rules, I believe, on Wikipedia. And it's essentially you have an adjective and a profession.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah, my lady ended up playing a wild telephone solicitor or wild telemarketer.
Wild telephone marketer.
Yeah,
okay, all right,
telephone
all right.
marketer.
I dig it.
And essentially, it's a D6 game, so the standard regular dice. I'm sure you're noticing a theme with me.
Well, in the sense of relatively low impact dice mechanics and heavy on the role play.
Okay, yeah, I see you're noticing two themes.
Okay, well, what's the other one I'm supposed to have noticed?
I tend to roll. I tend to play a lot of games that we roll toward D6s. Because they're so easily attainable.
Yes,
like
that they are.
Yeah, when I was growing up in the ghetto, I could buy D6s from the liquor store.
Yep.
It blew my mind when I found out they came with 20 sides.
Mm-hmm. That's actually a very common thing when I talk to people who've never encountered role-playing games before. And to me, it's completely understandable. Of course, dice have a different amount of sides depending on what the dice are, and it makes perfect sense. But people, they'll see something like, wait, what is that a die? Like, well, yeah. That doesn't look like a regular die. Well, no, it's an 8-sided die. They make 8-sided dice? Well, yeah, it's like a polyhedron that has 8. Oh no, you're one of those people who's only ever seen 6-sided dice, and you have never.
What is this polyhedral sorcery that you're doing?
Right, like your brain has literally never conceived of a random number generating cube or a random number generating object that you can cast that can have more than 6 sides or less.
Yeah.
Like the idea that is and always is the only thing a die can be, or a dice, or whatever.
That's exactly.
Yeah.
Oh crap! it just hit me. This is the first game gallery that we filmed since Comic-Con, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, so much. Yeah, I ended up had some adventures on my Facebook. And this is important to the die thing. But I lost my dice bag.
You mentioned you lost a few things at Comic-Con. Yeah.
And I was pissed.
I would be too if I lost my dice bag.
Except, Chessex was there. They were on the they were on the floor. So I went over to him and I'm like,
stole my dice bag.
Blue meanies. And and the guy was like, well, we'll give you a discount if you buy a set that you like. So I got my scarabs. I got my blue scarabs from Chessex.
Nice.
Which have been my favorite dice, other than the ones like my friend Colleen at the Beard Brothers pulled out these gorgeous fucking rainbow dice things. They look like candy. And
nice.
But outside of that, scarab, because they're Chessex scarab, they look like beetles.
Ooh.
They have that
iridescent.
Beetle.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
So I got those in blue, and that was like they normally retail for $9. The guy let me have them for $5 because of my dice bag.
That was good of him.
And they were saying for $9 you get a coffee cup full of dice.
Just get a coffee cup, scoop it full of dice,
and put it in a bag
for $5 or $9.
Yeah,
I can get a lot of dice in a coffee cup.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing, because it's essentially $9 for half a pound of dice. Which, of course, I had to do.
Well, yeah, at $9. Especially if your dice bag just got stolen.
And then somebody turned my dice bag into the lost and found.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got my dice bag back. Now I got a pound of dice.
Cool.
That I can't carry with me, because if I get pulled over, the police won't see a bag of dice.
They're going to see a bag of drugs.
No, they're going to see a blackjack, is what they're going to see.
Oh.
You know, which is cool. I get to, like, you know, grab my dice in my Crown Royal bag, and I was more upset about that because, you know, me and the booze ain't a thing.
Yeah.
But how can I put it? Who was it that I was talking to? People were like, "Oh my God, how'd you get?" You know, the older gamers, you guys know, your first dice bag is a Crown Royal bag most of the time. Because I can't sew, but Dad's a drunk, so
yeah.
So
or someone's
brandy,
friend's dad's a drunk.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
But, they turn up those bags.
Yeah, but the thing is, Crown Royal's been expanding.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so now it's not just the standard Prince Purple bag.
Oh.
The apple flavored has a green bag. The vanilla has a beige bag.
Oh, nice.
Right. So I've got the Jolly Rancher green dice bag, and that's what hurt. That's
the
what really
nice
hurt.
Jolly Rancher green one.
I'm like, my green dice bag, you know, the one that can't be confused at the freaking game store with anybody else's.
Because everyone else has the purple one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Don't get me wrong though, my bike keys were in it, so that kind of sucked too. But but yeah, so we were talking about dice. I had to bring those things up because I'm like, because so the dice bag got found. So I'll show that to you after the show.
Yeah, I'd like to take a look at that.
Yeah,
well, hey, if nothing else, now you have a bunch of extra dice that you can donate if you don't want them to other people, other gaming groups who are lacking dice, have new players.
Exactly. Well, as my plan for this is as I start the stuff at the community centers, I'll be able to assemble 3 sets of the D20 set, which is you know your the 2D10, the 1D20, 1D12, 2D10s,
D8, D6, D4.
D6, the caltrops. I'm thinking about 4 of the caltrops and 4 of the D6s.
Yeah, that's usually about right.
Creation, and just keep them at the community centers that I'm working with. So
makes sense.
Yeah,
because most of the time that's you need somewhere between 4, maybe as high as 6 D6s. And that's like for a role-playing game that doesn't specifically use a bunch of D6s, that should be fine.
Yeah, exactly.
And then all the others, it's like you roll at most 2 20-sided dice, and you can probably just roll the same one twice if you need to. So it makes it work, but the most you're ever gonna need is D6s. I don't know if you even need 4 D4s. Do you need those for a thing in character creation? You said, or
D6.
The D4s.
D4s.
Yeah. What do you need? What do you need a bunch of D4s for?
Thief class. Your backstab bonus.
I thought backstabs were D6s.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I was gonna say like that because that's the only thing I could think of was in D&D. What needs a lot? Thief backstab bonuses, and that's all D6s. So your knife does 1 D4.
Sometimes,
and then you just
sometimes I can't forget that, or sometimes I forget that it's no longer second edition.
Yeah.
Remember, second edition was
that was all
the higher
D4s.
Up you get 3 handfuls of D4 dice.
Oh,
that's
geez.
your backstab bonus.
Yeah. Well, one of the running jokes in a lot of the war games is they'll show a picture of one of those giant dice bricks that's full of like 200 6-sided dice or something.
Yeah.
And they'll say like, this is the orc shooting phase. Hope you can just survive the sheer volume of shots.
Right. You keep talking for a hot minute. I'm gonna adjust the I'm gonna adjust my camera because I need a little less headspace because I don't like this.
Okay.
I'm not a fan of that.
Okay.
So yeah.
Sure. Well, let's see. Should I move on to the other game or should I? Okay. Well, welcome, listeners. It's time for me to get very excited about a new game I've just learned about. My friend actually told me about this game. Hey, I'm all blurry. Oh yeah, because you walked in front of it. Okay. Yeah, so this game is one that my friend introduced me to. It's called The Skeletons, and I'd never heard of it before the other day. But it was introduced to me specifically with the idea that this is a game for people who are new to role-playing. It's like a good intro to role-playing game thing.
Bye.
Yep. Does that screw up the... Oh, no. It still works. Yeah, so intro to role-playing thing. If you've never played a role-playing game before, you can jump in, you can play The Skeletons.
Right.
It requires no dice. It has no DM. I've played a number of games with that setup where it's completely cooperative, but this is a storytelling game where the game has very little to do with what you roll. Your chance of failure has nothing to do with what you roll. You are guaranteed at one point or another to lose. At the end of the story, the skeletons are destroyed and the tomb is raided. But
that kind of sucks.
well, not necessarily, because it's what happens in between there. Like you are skeleton warriors cursed forever to guard this tomb with every last ounce of your strength. But as they say, over strange eons, even death may die.
Yeah.
And skeletons, while they are certainly immortal to one degree or another, are still prone to an amount of damage and decay. So what happens over the course of decades, centuries, or millennia that can cause these skeleton warriors to, eventually fall apart and to eventually succumb to greater and greater threats? And so the start of the game, you have like a single grave robber breaks into the tomb. Look, your 4 or 5 skeletons are going to kill a single grave robber, no problem. You don't need to roll dice for this. What you need to do is tell what happens, because maybe in the course of this there's a cave-in. Maybe a new part of the tomb is uncovered. Maybe one of you is damaged. There's all kinds of things that could happen because of this encounter that have nothing to do with winning or losing the encounter itself. It's all about the things that go on around it. And part of the conceit of the game is that the skeletons can only think and act and remember when they are defending the tomb. All the other times they're asleep.
Okay.
And they have no memory of who they are, what they were in life. But they start to piece that together as they're awake. So that's part of the role-playing, is you're putting a backstory to this character as you're playing.
Okay.
And so you're creating their whole history.
Okay, so it's a lot like you're playing the dude from Indiana Jones, like choose for. Actually, you know what I'm thinking when you're talking about this?
What's that?
You're sitting up, you're doing your thing, you're just resting in your tomb. All of a sudden, some blue shirt wearing moron with a chainsaw for his hand comes into your graveyard and starts messing stuff up, talking about nickels and clats.
Yep. And that's pretty much it. It's, so many D&D games, you're a party of adventurers who break into tombs and kill the guardians and raid all the loot in there. Right. So you have to assume that there's a certain amount of people who break into tombs in D&D who do not survive to continue leveling up. And so this is the story of the monsters that killed them up until you get to the point where you are destroyed because a powerful enough group does make it in there. So over the course of time and the course of this tomb getting more famous from people failing to raid it, it's going to draw more powerful adventurers until eventually you have like an entire army that shows up to basically plunder this tomb. And it's like, look, you're just not going to win against an army. I don't care how many skeletons you think you have in your little party here and how badass you think you are, but ultimately you will lose. But what happens in between them? And specifically the in-between time is actually a part of the game, because when the encounter's done, there's no like talking, there's no leveling up, there's no keeping track of that stuff. You handle all of that stuff during the session when you're playing, or during the scene, I should say. And then, when the scene is done, when you've defeated whoever is coming into your tomb, now you're silent again. And you specifically are, the game requires you to turn off the lights and to go into silence for a certain amount of time. And they have it like, well, if you're silent for a year, that's 10 seconds. If it's 3 years, it's 20 seconds. If it's 5, And so depending on how long the skeletons are asleep, you sit in silence as a group meditating on the weight of this tomb around you for an amount of time, and the lights come back on, and you say, "Skeleton warriors, arise to defend your tomb," or whatever ridiculousness you want to do. And the chat's asking what game is being discussed. It is called The Skeletons. You wake up again, and now you continue to talk about your character as you're fighting whatever it is to be fought, as you're seeing what ends up happening. So anyway, it's a really neat game. The friend who told me about it was very excited because he has used it several times as an intro to role-playing games for brand new role players, because you don't have to worry about learning a rule book full of stuff. Much like Kids on Bikes, you just kind of sit down and play. There's very little setup required for it. You just need to not even have dice for this one. You just sit down, have at least one person who's kind of read the rules and knows what they're doing, and then everyone else can just play the game and learn how to play a game as a group.
Oh, that is seriously, like, this is going to be some of this is going to be like some really good stuff, because it gives perspective.
Yes.
You know, a lot of this stuff gives perspective because that I remember when Kobolds came out from Cheap Ass Games.
Yes, I've heard of this game. Never played it.
Oh, it was pretty much skeletons, except this was before, I guess you could say, we became sensitive to the disabled because they were written very much on the spectrum.
Really? The kobolds were?
Yes, kobolds.
Oh, interesting.
I'm not going to say they really like trains, but they kind of like trains.
Okay, all right.
But, and again, this was from Cheap Ass, so this was from the same company that made Ninja Burger, which then became a Steve Jackson game, you know? But these games, all in all, really, I think the 3 games that we talked about today really kind of gather up the essence of the role, R-O-L-E, play
absolutely.
of the game. And, you know, of role-playing games where we're playing pretend. That's really, at the end of the day, all RPGs is we get to play pretend with our friends.
Yes.
So it's kind of like free play.
Yeah, and there's an element of cops and robbers where you need to have someone resolve, did the cop shoot the robber?
Yeah.
And, you know, so that's where the dice come in for some of these games, but some of the other ways to explore the genre, like we're talking about here, don't necessarily involve having a hard and fast mechanic like that. There's other ways to play pretend with your friends and tell a story.
Yeah, I mean, it's really very much... as much as we love going bang, bang, bang,
yeah.
bang, bang, rat-tat-tat.
I got you, ha!
No, I got a bazooka, you know.
Yeah. Like, well, how does your cop actually have a bazooka? I don't think that the police force could really afford that level of weaponry on a street cop. But
that's how you know. That's how I know for a fact you're not from my neighborhood.
I know. I'm being facetious.
But they got them in yours too.
But I did want to address the chat. They mentioned the game 10 Candles, which is another one I've recently learned about. I haven't played it yet, but the same friend who ran the Kids on Bikes game is excited to try it at some point.
We'll be talking about that on Table Talk.
Okay,
cool. Because the Bard in the deck has actually played it. I
really want to know more about 10 Candles.
Next week, and I want to hook up with you this week, you are going to love the game that we're featuring next week. We've already talked about it on Table Talk.
Okay.
But what we are going to do sometime this week is I'm going to find a way to buy the game.
Okay.
And then we are going to play the game.
But what's the game called? Do I get to know about the game now, or is it a wait until you talk to me later about it?
It's very much
okay. Well, audience, I believe you.
Don't worry, it wasn't a mistake. It wasn't a mistake that I'm making you wait. Okay,
all right.
But yeah, so we're going to be doing that. But what I want to do is, since we're moving into our last segment here, is I wanted to address what I wrote in the description of today's episode.
Okay.
Okay, because there is a very fun game out there.
Yes.
It is very fun. It captures the essence of a certain style of role play.
Even in the name.
Yes, especially in the name.
Yeah.
But I wanted to address what it is because I've seen it used as, well, I've seen it try to be used as this is what role playing is like, so start from there. And I want to talk about the dangers of using that as the cornerstone of your thought process when it comes to role-playing games. And of course, that game that I speak of in all of its wacky and initial just over-the-top glory is, of course...
Oh, Munchkin. Yeah, obviously.
Exactly.
And anyone who's ever played any tangentially like outside of the Milton Bradley board games has probably at least heard of Munchkin or had some friend who's been like, oh man, I hear you like playing games. Have you tried Munchkin? It's
I wouldn't go that far, man.
It seems like it's everywhere.
It seems like it's everywhere in your circles.
Okay,
the games that are really everywhere are hey, I hear you play Monopoly. Hey, bro. How do you feel about humanity?
Yeah.
Would you like to play some cards against them? You know.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
And before that, it was Settlers of Catan. That was
true. Yeah. Which I mean is still an objectively good game.
Oh, amazing! Amazing.
Yeah. There's a reason that game has been so popular for so long.
Well, it was the first game of the hardcore board gamers to break through to the mainstream.
Yes.
In the sense of, I'm not saying hardcore because I'm being some sort of gatekeeper. It comes down to, if it's a hardcore board game, you have to go to a specialty store to get it,
Yeah.
And then once it breaks through to the mainstream, you find it at Target.
Yeah, which a lot of I'm excited about, because Target, specifically Target, has been really on top of like getting better quality games that are still, easily accessible to everyone, but which we would traditionally think of in more that hardcore game sense. The big one to me, because Catan's been out for a while and that's been on the shelves.
15 years in Target.
Yeah, in Target. Yeah, but one of the other ones that's been out now for, again, a while in Target is Ticket to Ride.
Yeah.
Which, when you think about it, yeah, that's totally a game any family can play. It's not a game that's hard. It's actually a really, really well-made game, but it used to very much be like it's a specialty hardcore game.
Yeah,
and now
you have to go to a game store.
Right.
Well, first you have to know about the existence of a game store, and then you have to go to said game store.
And you have to know what such a store would have that you would even care about browsing their selection for. Do they have board games that I would even like, or these weird nerd games?
Yeah, exactly. So, But yeah, and honestly, I gotta say, I gotta thank Will Wheaton and Felicia Day for all the work they've put in with Tabletop and the whole Geek and Sundry company. 'Cause they're the ones that really opened the door for the mainstream companies to go, people are really into this, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I think I want in on that fat freaking dollar. Which is cool, because Splendor is now at Target, and I'm jazzed. I'm jazzed because I love that game.
Yeah, there's so many games that... we live in an age of geeks now, and a lot of that, like you say, has been a lot of geeks doing a lot of hard work to just make it accessible and inform people these things exist, so they're not weird niche things.
Yes.
They're, whether they're available in Target or not, people at least have heard, well, we were talking about Munchkin, they've heard of this game that I think you can get Munchkin at Target. Almost.
Yeah.
Maybe some Targets, or I don't know, but you can get Munchkin in a lot of places.
Yeah.
And again, it's one of these games that it's not necessarily hardcore, but it's around. Like, and it's easy to find a copy of it or a friend with a copy of it. It's not super expensive. You can jump in, you can play some game. And I'm not a huge Munchkin fan. Cards on the table, no pun intended. But it's not the sort of gameplay, and it doesn't really... I'm not a big fan of the Munchkin style in general. I much prefer the storytelling rather than that. Well, why don't you describe that game style that you were alluding to before?
Yeah, to start off, I am a fan of Munchkin because it hits my derp button.
Okay, all right.
When I need to be whoop whoop woo, I pull out the Munchkin games.
I'm sorry, what are you going to be like?
Whoop whoop woo.
Oh, very good, very good.
Okay, WHOOP space WHOOP WOOOOOO exclamation point.
Good.
Okay, and essentially, guys, what Munchkin is an idiom that's used between gamers, because essentially, when you play role-playing games, most role-playing games, Dungeons and Dragons, Innomine, Victoriana, Rifts is not on this list. What other anything from White Wolf, like Vampire the Masquerade, Mace the Ascension, Wraith the Friend Ender. Watch Friday's episode of Fluff Talk to understand that one. It's all based on creating a balanced character, making a person, and living a life. Unless you decide to play in... Oh, okay, thank you, Camo. Yeah, Munchkin's is at Barnes & Noble's.
There we go.
If you can find one of them.
Yeah.
And, of course, everything's on Amazon, because Amazon owns everything, including my grandmother, I found out. Now,
lovely.
That's... Ooh, man, that was the most racist thing I've ever said. Amazon.
Yeah, no, I see what you're talking. I'm not sure it's the most racist thing, but I see it can be construed in a racist way.
That was pretty bad.
Yeah.
But the Munchkin style is not making an overall balanced character. It is doing what's called min-maxing, which is another idiom of minimizing a certain aspect of your character and maximizing the other ones in a willful manner.
Yeah.
Essentially,
in a willful
saying-
way to exploit the rules specifically.
Yes,
Yeah.
very much so.
You know,
No, keep going.
I was going to say, like, the classic example of this would be like a fighter who is going to want to be strong and fast and tough, so he minimizes all of his intelligence and charisma and wisdom and all his social skills. He doesn't need any of that, but he maximizes his strength and his
Right.
dexterity and his constitution and all of his feats. So that dude is an unstoppable killing machine, but if you ask him to spell his name, he doesn't know which toe to start counting on.
That makes him a big, dumb jerk.
Yes.
With no charisma.
Yep.
No wisdom, and no intelligence.
Yes.
In
but
other
that's
words, Leroy Jenkins.
Yeah, but that's the whole idea of a munchkin, is that's somebody who prefers to play the game that way, where they're trying to gain an advantage at the thing they do best by not cheating, but as close to it as you can within the rules.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the game, Munchkin, is a card game that's completely built around that concept.
Yep.
The game is built for you to do that.
Yep.
And it's satire. It's satire just like Deadpool, just like
Yep.
South Park. And it can be fun. My personal favorite rendition of Munchkin is Star Munchkin, because you know me in the sci-fi.
Yeah, obviously.
And they have a weapon that you need a hand to wield.
Okay.
And it's the laser.
Okay.
Okay? We're just there. However, if you keep going through and looting all of the spaceships, you can find the Dazer. And the Bobazer. And the Banana Fana Phaser.
God dang it.
You know, and if you have duct tape,
You can duct
then you
tape them
have
all
a
together.
two-handed weapon. That is the Laser Mazer Bobazer Banana Fana Dazer that just keeps stacking all of these bonuses.
All right, that's pretty silly.
Yeah, it is. And that's
Yeah.
exactly what I mean. It's that
Yeah.
kind of silliness. It's not derp. It's just wacky.
It can be derp, certainly.
Yeah.
But it's the idea, like, look, there's ways to break the idea in D&D is like, look, there's ways to break the game, but everyone's kind of everyone in most cases is having a gentleman's agreement not to break the game.
Right.
Because we're playing this role-playing game, whatever.
We call it the social contract.
Yes. But in a game like Munchkin, it's like, no, there's ways to break this game. The game is built around being broken, so please try to break the game. Do the best you can. Everyone's going to try to break it right along with you, and whoever breaks it hardest, fastest, and largest is going to win. So there you go.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, honestly, so when it comes to doing this, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the idea of the knee pads of Allure. And I'm naming cards out of the games, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, and of course they've got the Cthulhu type creature. Excuse me. That is the thing that man should not know.
Yeah.
But it doesn't affect female players. Or players that have had a sex change.
Yep.
So,
which is, again, a reference to, a lot of players finding very niche wordings in the rules that are like, well, technically this says that no man can kill me, but I'm playing a woman here, so I can go ahead and kill it just fine.
You can blame Tolkien for that one.
Oh, no, I can.
Yeah,
I absolutely can.
Tolkien is right there.
It's-
And I still have a crush on Miranda Otto as
Oh,
a
yeah,
woman, because,
yeah.
But yeah, so.
No, it's just the idea, like, the rules lawyers who, like, try to tweak the wording. There's the ever-going split between RAW, rules as written, and RAI, rules as intended. And, a lot of people who are not on the same page going into a game are going to say, like, okay, well, the rules say specifically that you should do this and that has this effect and whatever else, and it's written this way. It's like, well, look, man, I know how it's written, and I know technically it says no man can kill him, and I know that you're playing a woman, but the intent was he is not killable, not that because you found a way around the wording, well, the rules are written to say that and so that idea of, well, technically,
Yeah, and we followed the rules, and that's what's most important.
exactly, and the anybody who starts out a discussion in D&D by saying, well, actually, technically,
Yes.
Those people love Munchkin.
Yes, they do.
Yes.
Yes, they do.
I hate that, which is part of why I hate Munchkin. I'm very much a rules as intended sort of person.
Now, I get where you're coming from that. But again, I'm a big fan of Munchkin because that's in me. Okay, that part is in me.
The rules lawyer.
Not rules lawyer. The rubber bander.
Ah.
The bender.
Ah,
the stretcher.
okay, all right,
Any magic slinging role player has that person in them.
True.
And it's got to come out somewhere. It's got to come out somewhere. So it literally is the I've got anger management problem. I have a punching bag type thing.
Yeah.
And
all right.
But the thing is, when it comes to using that as a basis for your role playing, or using board games as a basis of your role playing, non-co-op board games,
Yeah.
then you end up with this big competitive mindset.
Yes.
And rule number 1 in all games is have fun.
Yeah.
Decker rule number 2 is if your opponent doesn't have fun while you're winning,
Yep.
you are playing wrong.
Yep.
But rule number 2 in all gaming is you can't win D&D.
Yep.
You cannot win a role-playing game. There's no winning. You're
Yep.
a person living a life, and you can accomplish missions, you can grow as a character, you can tell a good story.
Yep.
But there is no victory. I have defeated Dungeons and Dragons.
Right.
You know, there is none of that.
Yeah,
And,
I remember when I was first getting started on role-playing games, playing in my parents' garage with my friends, and my dad would like poke his head and be like, "Hey, who's winning?" And we'd be like, "That's not how this works." He goes, I don't understand. And he just wandered back out again. He wasn't interested in learning how this whole thing worked, but it was the idea of just like who's winning is a concept that everyone automatically applies to any game.
Yeah.
And it's hard to break out of that mindset sometimes.
Well, yeah. And again, like, you're helping me with that, because thanks to you, I'm like watching. God, I think I'm at like 21 to 23 hours of Fallout lore on YouTube. Well, there's this dude named Oxhorn that just goes through every single scenario.
It's a deep, deep pool to dig into.
I did not realize it.
Yeah.
And I'm just
the lore's
Fallout
why
4.
I love that game so much.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I could get into a role playing game, like a tabletop role playing game of Fallout, and just dive deep into the lore. And there's some parts of the setting that are very well explored, some parts that have almost nothing that they've talked about, even in like a passing mention of dialogue.
It's true.
And I love that. It leaves them very fertile ground, and it leaves you as a player with fertile ground to imagine what could be somewhere else.
And that's definitely one of the things I noticed. Make no mistake, I would probably have been one of the cannibals on the strip in New Vegas, but because we haven't tasted the sweetest meat.
Yes, we are respectable. We don't just kill people. Oh, how gauche. No, we must find the finest selections, and we must really prepare them with our best chefs to make sure that they are exquisite.
Yeah, which, don't get me wrong, between people and what passes as cattle in that game, it really is a toss-up.
Yeah, irradiated, two-headed, sore-covered. Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, yes, getting through the Temple of Elemental Evil is the goal, but that's not how you win D&D, because after the Temple of Elemental Evil, there's another campaign.
Sure.
But that's a good question that was brought up for the people that are watching this that aren't you guys. But yeah, so I mean, again, there's winning conditions for scenario, but not for a role-playing game overall.
Yeah, like the chat threw out the term rules opportunists. I like that.
Yeah.
As opposed to just saying like the rules as intended versus rules as written. It's like, yeah, you can actually go either way and be a rules opportunist.
Yes.
And I've seen a lot of those people who will try to play whichever side will give them an advantage. I see it in war games a lot where people try to cheat and they try to conveniently forget one rule and then be a real stickler for another one. And,
yeah.
It happens. It happens in role-playing games too. And sometimes it's unintentional. Sometimes it is very, very intentional, and they have cultivated exactly what they can get away with without people checking the rule book.
Yeah, and it really comes down to sort of a violation of the social contract.
Yeah.
But again, one of the biggest policies of the social contract is context is everything.
Yes.
Why are you coming here to play this game? And what are we here to accomplish? If we are having one of those days, if it's say, I don't know, if it's the 20th of the month and you're waiting for that check,
Yeah.
and you just got into an argument with one friend,
Yeah.
and you're fighting off a cold,
Yep.
and you just found out that your electricity bill is $75 higher than you
Yep.
thought it was going to be, now is the time to play Risk. You know, now is
take
the time
it
to
out.
play some diplomacy.
Yeah, just time to take it out on somebody.
Yeah,
We're
exactly.
just
You know, that's when it's that time.
yeah. You know what? I need to have some escapism for the next 8 to 12 hours, and we're gonna play this game. And you know what? Gloves are coming off, and we're throwing down. I got some issues to work out right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Game
However, if it's I don't know, the 14th, and you got a bonus check, and everything is paid off, and you don't know what to do with yourself, that might be the time to play some Ticket to Ride.
Man, if you're ever in that position, let me know. I don't know if I've ever been there. Just feeling great, money burning a hole in my pocket.
You have been there. I've seen your miniatures collection.
Nah, the miniatures collection is more often bought when I'm what is it? Doing a little shopping therapy for the 20th, and I don't have people to take the anger out on, and so a credit card gets used.
See, you're a Mad Money guy.
Yeah.
You're a Mad Money.
I never claimed to be a responsible miniatures player.
Okay,
but,
that's fair.
Yeah.
And that's a really good thing. So yeah, but some of the stuff we got coming up, got to do some quick announcements.
Sure.
As we said, next week on Twitch is going to be session 0 of In Nomine, and we're starting the City of Angels campaign. And for those of you guys that don't know what a Nomine is, you can feel free to head down to backinthedeck.com and check out check out the website and wrong one. See, I was doing the thing and I had it going well, but yeah, feel free to check out backinthedeck.com at Fluff Talk. And
you guys talked about Inomine on Fluff Talk for a while.
Yes, the Viking
Nice.
and I talked about Inomine on the Fluff Talk.
Is that also on the YouTube live stream? They're saved in the YouTube live streams as well?
No, it is not. They have to go directly to the website.
See, this is why we got to know.
Yes, that's the whole thing. It's again, they're wheels within wheels, man. Wheels within wheels. But yeah, check out. Again, if you go to backinthedeck.com/shows, you'll see pretty much a lot of the stuff that we do.
Nice.
And hidden down to.
And this is you and the Viking, right?
Yes, this was the first show that Back in the Deck ever did.
Nice.
And here we are with a Nomine, and
Nice.
it's an audio stream alone, but it'll, we did a talk on the fluff with the Nomine, and it was the fun stuff.
Fantastic.
And we're gonna be, oh my God, I think the Vikings here.
Hey, look at that.
And yeah, so in a nutshell, we're gonna be starting the live stream of that on Twitch. So tell your friends,
Yeah, if it's
learn it through
happening,
your voice, fool your friends, fun at parties.
well, if you're doing it next, you said next Sunday is gonna be session 0.
Yeah, next Sunday is session 0. That is character creation. For those of you guys that don't know, session 0 is character creation. It's when we establish the social contract for the game. That is where the GM or the game master sits down with all players that are available and go, hey, this is the kind of game I would like to play. These are the parameters under which we'd like to play, and let's see if we can do something and make some good feels about that. And this is important. Session 0, and hit up Garblag Games or Seth Sarkowski, and freaking Sirens of the Realms, and freaking Roll20 or Critical Role, even WebDM, and we'll all tell you that session 0 is the foundation of the communication. This is the outline of your thing. So it is quite possibly the most important game session that there is. So,
and sometimes it does involve a little bit of role playing. Sometimes, at least in my session 0s, if we block out the 4 to 6 hours of like, hey, we're gonna sit down and play a game, and then we end up finishing all the character creation, social contract stuff in 2 or 3 hours. It's like, all right, well, let's kind of go through maybe the part where you guys meet at this location and we set up why your characters know each other, and we do a little bit of role playing for people to get that in their heads.
Yes, a small scenario so that people can understand mechanics.
Right, not starting like the main story, but
No.
usually just introduce each other together, find out why you guys are in the same place.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And well, again, nominate, that's easy. God said so. And I'm a fan of that.
I guess like in that case, it's less about explaining why you're together and more getting the dynamic when you guys are in character.
Yes.
How do you interact? Because that is important as well. And on the Kids on Bikes game we did, like when all the characters were meeting each other, and we did this all in the same session. We didn't have a session 0.
Damn it. You know what's killing me?
What?
Every time you bring up Kids on Bikes, you know what I want to do?
Play Kids on Bikes?
No. Truffle shuffle, truffle shuffle. Do it! That's just...
I mean, you can play that character. They have an archetype for the lovable sidekick, and he has an ability he can get called Gross, which just it's like, what does this do? He does a gross thing that all of his friends like. Does it like have a mechanical benefit? Not really. It's a gross thing he does that it can have role playing ramifications.
Yeah.
Oh, why would you take this? For role-playing reasons.
Yeah.
Like, okay, cool.
He can blow bubbles with his spit. And they actually leave his mouth.
Yeah. Like, exactly. Like, oh, he can, like, bend his hand in a weird way. Everyone's like, oh. But that's what the weird kid does.
I don't know what you mean.
You.
I'm not implying that I was the weird kid.
I mean, I was the Boy Scout kid, so I was automatically weird.
Right. I was the weird kid.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I was just going to say, in the Kids on Bikes game, the first time all the characters met each other and interacted with each other, because the part of the Session 0 stuff for that game involves everybody answering questions about all the other characters. And so you'll say, okay, we're going to talk about you, and we're going to roll a die, and on this chart, you need to ask, what has this character done in the past that really upset you? And you have to ask that question, and you answer that question about this other player. And by the time you're done, you have built-in ways you feel about everybody else. So one of the other characters was an adult, and he was like the weird scarred janitor who like nobody talked to. But it was like, oh yeah, he like cleans up the movie theater. He's like the school janitor, and
I know what's in your lockers.
Right?
Don't
yeah. So, but he's like.
About me.
He's like the weird, the weird outcast adult. Mm-hmm. But my character, being a 12-year-old and this like scarred adult, like my character was terrified of him. And he thought he was a serial killer because, of course, children just think that.
Scary German guy. That's. You haven't seen Monster Squad?
I have not.
Dude, okay.
Dude, I was a sheltered kid. I haven't seen a lot of stuff.
Okay. Kids on Bikes versus Universal horror movie monsters.
Yeah.
Scary German guy lived in a house down the street.
Yeah.
I can spoil it because the movie is older than you.
Yeah.
And
I'll still watch it.
Yeah.
I'll still watch the hell out of it.
Scary German guy. Let's just say he talked to them with a knife. He offered them pie.
Yeah.
And he had a really cool tattoo right there.
Okay.
Of a serial number.
Yes.
Or, for those of you guys that are classically trained, Simon Stimson. Simon Stimson. Read Our Town.
Oh,
Jeez.
I'll check it out.
You haven't read Our Town?
I have not. I told you. There's a lot of stuff, especially any culture, any rough pop culture
Did you see To Kill a Mockingbird at least?
Not the movie. I've read the book.
Okay. Yeah, the dude with the freaking paper bag that he was always drinking from, the town drunk.
Yeah.
Turned out to be Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Okay. All right. Well, anyway,
you gotta get out more.
I'm doing the best I can. I had like 20 years of being trapped in a bubble to like overcome, and there's a lot of culture you miss out on in that time.
That's true, but I promise that your level 2 human, would love the Monster Squad.
Well, okay. I'll check it out.
Especially since she already knows that the Wolfman's got nards. Yeah, but we're gonna be doing Session 0 of Anomine next Sunday, and that's gonna be awesome. I got the second female player that I needed, and they were asking like, would it be okay if I got dressed up? And I'm like, if you got wings, girl, you bring them wangs. You bring the wangs. You bring the halo. I'm the boy with the broken halo. and we're going to be setting that up next week. We're also going to be talking with sometime this week. I'm thinking either Table Talk or Game Gallery next week. We're going to have a Skype guest of, if I can get him in, Daniel. You're absolutely right, Don Bluth. We're going to have Daniel in to talk about Session 0 of the Boys and Girls Club D&D game.
I mentioned about that.
If he's got time, I'm going to try and set him up as a Skype guest.
Nice.
Because having him drive all the way to this hot, stifling room from San Clemente, California is absolutely the best way to make sure that he never works with us again.
You got me hooked during those balmy winter months when I could just show up here and everything was fine.
That's because I knew. Magic.
Yeah, all that sorcerer business, you know.
Yeah, a wizard did it. But yeah, and
a wizard used his magic and he did it.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
So with that, we're going to be doing that stuff with the Innomine game. I am going to be using the augmented reality book. For the Innomine game, just
that'll be awesome.
Because I have a week to finish setup. So I've got to finish the specific parts of the warehouses that I might end up using in downtown LA and Westwood and Culver City. So this is going to be some fun stuff. And let's see, what other announcements? Oh, yeah. So we're still saving up for better gear, guys. All right, that is one of the things we're doing. So, again, down there in the link below, is the link to our GoFundMe. I believe it's still up. Let me double check on this, just making sure that is still up. Because boom,
yeah,
yay, yes, as you can see, we have our GoFundMe here, and yeah, again, it's our goal, and we've got we've had some really cool donators. We got a couple of there, and that will guarantee that you guys get swag. And
swag.
Yeah, hey, swag is always a good thing. Always a good thing. And so that is a thing that's there. And with that, though, we're working on better gear. We're still trying to get our production levels up. I made one more upgrade this week, so the sound shouldn't be a problem after today, as long as I remember to turn the damn mic on. But
yeah, that's pretty important for sound quality.
Yeah, so that's a thing. That's a thing. I want to thank Spiderweb out there for donating directly to the Back in the Deck, PayPal.
Yes, I was like, I can't help
money.
you here, buddy.
One of our really good old friends set up a PayPal in his name and is letting Back in the Deck use it.
Oh, good.
So that is awesome. So yeah, haha, yes, you'll be in Culver. Thank you, Camel Heart. And but yeah, so that's one of those things. So we, again, every little bit helps. Thank you so much for the stuff that we're doing. Again, I'll let you guys know how the buildup of Austin is coming down, because I'm really looking forward to taking this thing on the road and actually casting from inside of the stores.
Yeah.
Talking with the owners, meeting the people that are there, and showing the deckers. That's like, if you're in the city, this is what the store looks like.
Yep.
This is the guy to talk to.
Check it out. Come to this place.
Yeah, because I know your mind was blown when I told you, like, go to this store when you go to Austin.
Yeah, I checked out Dragon's Lair. I haven't been to Mothership yet. I've heard nothing but good things about Mothership, but I just the friends I have in Austin, we're both like, look, we've been to Dragon's Lair. You gotta check out Dragon's Lair. And I went there and I was like, yeah, okay, I see it. I see what all the hype was about. You know, here we are.
Yeah, so that's gonna be a thing. I got to talk to their owners and make sure everything's all right. And again, talking to Mothership. If you guys go to backinthedeck.com and go to our B&M stores, you'll see the stores that we work with that will treat you like a person when you walk in. I'll be checking out a store in the Santa Clarita Valley today.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I used to go to a comic book store there. I don't know if it's still there. So since I'm doing, since I'm going to go see a friend today, that's an hour and a half away, which is funny because I was an hour and a half the other direction last week.
Yeah, you travel some distances.
Well, yeah, you know, it's part of the job, man. Part of the job, and I do it so y'all don't have to.
I appreciate it.
You know, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I don't mind traveling at all.
well, I'm going to be checking out some stores up in that area today, and probably over the course of the next week. And another quick announcement: if you guys are in the Los Angeles area, board game night at Scum and Villainy, the Scum and Villainy bar on the corner of
I've been
Hollywood.
meaning to check that place out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Scum and Villainy bar.
Wait, what? When was it? You said?
I was about to.
Oh,
say.
I thought you already gave the date.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. And yeah, if you guys are over 21,
Yeah.
you know, if you guys are over 21, yeah, it is the
Nice.
LA. It is the place for the LA geek culture, and this is Monday nights
I
at
want to go so
Scum
bad.
and Villainy Cantina. This is actually the inside of the bar.
Yeah, I want so
And
bad.
yeah, these guys, the new website's launching soon because you gotta love it. Yeah, but Scum and Villainy Cantina on the corner of Hollywood Boulevard and Cahuenga.
Dang.
So if you can find parking,
Yeah.
or hop on a train. Monday nights is their show up, pay like $5 to get in, get your drink, get your food, and meet loads of people and use their board games.
Nice.
So it's like using
Nice.
their gaming.
Yeah,
club
yeah,
and just
yeah.
sit down going, hey, are you playing Serenity? I was checking that out.
Nice. That's really cool.
Yeah. So that's one of the things. So if you guys got the time, to do that, you might even run into the Bart in the deck.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might run into the Bart in the deck because he's a madman. He did it last week after coming back from Comic-Con.
Yeah. No. Hard
And-
pass.
yeah,
Just. I only do the one con a year, which is Kingdom Con, which I love.
Mm-hmm.
But man, when that's done, yeah, when that's done on that Sunday, I need a day or two to recover. I'm not going out. I'm not traveling anywhere. I'm not seeing a bunch of people. I'm not playing a bunch of games.
To the dude that had a show to do the day after Comic-Con.
Yeah, you're a crazy person. I can't handle that.
I got a job to do. Is the
well.
whole thing. All right. But yeah. So honestly, it's you know, the Scum and Villainy Cantina. That's tomorrow night. In Hollywood. You know, they start at like 6 or 7. And it's actually a pretty good time. I went there by accident
Nice.
one night. Well,
Okay.
I thought I left my keys there.
Ah.
Or I thought I left my phone charger there. And I literally had to hop on my motorcycle and ride to Hollywood to go get it. And I'm like, what did I walk in? What's this? What's this? There's cameras everywhere. What's this? There's lightning in the air. What's this? I can't believe my eyes. I must be dreaming. Wake up, Saul. This isn't there. What's this? You know?
Good.
And people were like, oh my God, this is like, oh my God, you do this website for blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah. You guys mind if I get some footage? And of course, I didn't take a light with me, so it was just too damn dark.
Yeah.
So if I have the gas and the energy, I'm going to be just doing some quick live casts, like the ones I was doing from the thing of San Diego Comic-Con.
Nice.
Yeah. So, but with that, I do want to thank you for showing up today.
Of course.
Because
Yeah.
you know, I mean, you've been a trooper, man.
I've been trying. I've been
you
doing
know,
the best
seriously.
I can.
You guys don't know, but I've got like 7 weeks of pre-recorded stuff that I'm going to be putting in the archive on the website after I get done with all the damn editing, or find
Yeah.
an editor to put it together for me.
The live streaming saves you so much work on
Yeah,
that.
and we can actually get the stuff out. People
Yeah.
are like, dude, you guys are producing content like mofos.
Yeah.
I'm like, all I'm doing is putting up everything that we've been recording.
Yep.
You
Yeah,
know?
we've been producing a ton of content. It just hasn't been able to be up yet.
Yeah.
And so it's nice to have the turnaround be, well, live.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
this
good.
This is everything I've been working toward
Yeah,
for a
I'm
while.
loving it. I'm
Outside
loving
of
it.
monetization.
Well,
but
sure.
That's on its way. But yeah, so thank you for showing up, and I want to thank you guys. Let's see. I really want to thank you guys for showing up. You know, thanking our good friends in the Chatty Wats. Well, check out the Chatty Wats. Oh wait, maybe I should reload the page here. Still learning my way around. But yeah, no, the Chatty Wats are really going out there. Look at these guys.
Oh. Yeah. I appreciate you guys in the chat. I appreciate you guys telling us stuff and commenting and correcting our mistakes as they come up. It's good to feel like we're having that interaction.
Yeah, no, I mean it's it's the 21st century, so everybody wants to be a part of the act.
I mean, I don't hate it. I said I don't hate it.
Well, I don't dislike it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, with all that, I'm gonna say if you guys like what you see, bring a friend. Invite a friend. Share it. We're up to 10 people watching the thing. This is great because it's only been 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So I've been really happy with that turnout. But if you guys have anything that you really want to say to us, what? You got something to say to me? Yeah, you want to bring some of this? You got something to say to me?
Don't at me.
Yeah, in which case, if you go at me, then at me at backinthedeck@gmail.com. And you can also, hit us up at backinthedeck@gmail.com. And again, our PayPal is the same address, backinthedeck@gmail.com. Thank you guys for showing up in the chat. We do this, we're up to 6 live casts a week.
Yeah, we are.
So we're here like all the time, and just push subscribe and the little bell on YouTube, and tell your friends to look us up on YouTube/bidp. That's little b, little I, little d, or capital B, little I, little capital D space P on the YouTube, and push subscribe, push the little bell notification and all that jazz. Join the group Deckers on the Book. That way you can talk to us like directly pretty much anytime.
Yeah.
There's always one of us there. I can't get away from my cell phone with the chats and all that stuff going, because this is my job now.
Yeah.
And if you guys want to check out some of our older shows and you don't feel like futzing with the YouTubes, or not all of our older shows are on this because we've been doing this for about 5 years, believe it or not.
Yeah.
So our old archives, and as I put the stuff up, is on the SoundCloud. So just go to SoundCloud, and it's SoundCloud/bidp. That's BID_P, not space underscore. Space will take it to somebody else. I don't know what that'll do.
Neat.
And of course, follow us on Instagram for all of our other live casts and all that stuff. I may just put up a Patreon to put all this stuff out there. I don't know yet. And of course, if you guys like what you see, or if you don't like what you see, hit us up on all that stuff. If you really like what you see, then spend some time. Oh wait. That's better. Spend some time at backinthedeck.com. Check out our archives, our announcements. I'm starting to collect essays from people about their experiences as nerds that aren't essentially the standard type person that you get in the United States, so that you guys have a little something to read other than looking through all of our videos.
Yeah.
And there we've got audio of our interviews of people that I meet around the world. Like I took some interviews of people in line at 3 o'clock in the morning for Hall H at San Diego Comic-Con, and that's up. That's going up on the archives in the website. So we're doing all this stuff. We're doing so much work for you, and in the next couple of months, we're going to be monetizing the website. So become a member. Get really in there. It's only going to cost you $7 a month. That's it. $7 a month to get access to everything that we do. Live stream the chat, because I won't be here doing this on the YouTube forever. Hopefully by the beginning of the year, the YouTube is going to be the place for the highlights.
Yeah.
Just like 5, 10, 15-minute snippets for the people that need to kill time while they're waiting for Netflix to buffer so they can watch Orange is the New Black Season 7. Yeah, what? It's not, how can I escape that shit? But with that, I'm going to say, as soon as I can get this going again, like I said, we're still working on a great many things, including our outro music. Let me double check this on the yes, our desktop audio. So yeah, so again, what I'm gonna say is thank you guys for joining us. And I had that whole thing going, but nothing was showing up, or no sound was showing up, but it's okay. Like I said, we're still working out all that stuff, so hit us up at backinthedeck@gmail.com, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, SoundCloud. Follow us on Instagram. I'm thinking about doing the Tumblr thing. I'm thinking about putting up an imager. Let me know if I should even bother with those.
Find
things.
out what mediums you guys are using, what you'd like to see us on. We can probably make it happen.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, because, again, I'm old. I don't know what them kids are doing nowadays. So,
and it's always something new. You know, it seems like there's a new social media platform that people are into all the time. But, yeah, absolutely find out what you guys want to see us on, and we'll try to make it there.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things that we're doing. And, again, like I said, with everything that we're doing right now, we've got a lot of fingers and a lot of pies. I'm hopefully meeting with the Long Beach Parks and Recreation Society next week to see what I got to do to get into the things to do in Long Beach while you're here, so that we can get those gaming clubs started.
That would be awesome. Yeah.
That'll be cool. Sorry, our gear is moving a little slow today because, how can I put it? It's stupid hot. That's what we're at.
Yeah, it turns out computers don't love things being stupid hot.
Yeah, no, they don't. So, with that, I'm going to say, again, thank you for showing up. Mr. Duggernaut, thank you guys in the chat for showing up. You know, I'm really happy about that. And again, Switcher, hey! All right, I hate it when people do that, so I'm not going to do it from this point on. You know.
All right.
No.
Gonna make him
we
dizzy.
Put the switcher in here so that we can go seamlessly between camera angles, not so that we could have little switcher raves. But with that, I'm going to say, since all of this is totally failing, if anybody tells you guys, and again, I would say I'm sorry about the rant that I put up the other day about Target, but I'm not. Again, be kind, everybody. Be kind. Doesn't take a whole lot. There we go. So with that, I'm going to say the whole outro thing all over again because it bears being said. But as I said, if you guys want to get a hold of us, look for us at backinthedeck@gmail.com. Check us out on YouTube under BidP. That's capital B, little I, capital D, space P. You can also follow us on Twitter. We're always doing the stuff there. Follow us on SoundCloud for the archives. That's SoundCloud/BidP. That's little b, little I, little D, underscore P, and follow us on the Instagram and let us know what other social media things we should actually start looking forward to. I'm really looking forward to seeing you guys next week on the Twitch, so join Deckers on the Book and keep watching the shows this week because I will be giving links to the Twitch channel for us to be watched on that. And with that, I'm gonna say, if you guys are told that you can't like what you like or do what you do because of the circumstances of your birth, be it race, religion, creed, gender orientation, non-binary, or others, your level of ability, be it anxiety, some kind of palsy, some kind of amputation, and your financial status, because I'm poor too, you tell those people to take those cards and put them back in the deck. This is Solar Grey, the Cinematic Sorcerer, along with
the Duggernaut.
And we will see you guys next week on the Game Gallery.